Dear student, welcome back again in online session. In this online session, I am going to discuss about convenience sampling. In my previous lecture, I have already discussed about the concept of sampling and the types of sampling. And now in this lecture, I am going to discuss about the convenience sampling. So without further ado, let's start our today's topic. So first we will understand the concept of convenience sampling. So basically convenience sampling is a non-probability sampling where samples are selected based on their availability, accessibility and easy for the researcher. This type of techniques relies on data collection from the members of the population who are conveniently available to participate in the study. So overall, we can say that convenience sampling is a non-probability sampling method where the selection of participants is based on their availability, accessibility and ease of researcher for the research. So this approach involves gathering the data from the individuals who are conveniently accessible and willing to participate rather than employing a random selection techniques. The primary criteria for choosing these participants is their immediate availability, which makes the method quick and cost effective. However, since the sample is not randomly chosen, it may not accurately represent the broader population, leading to potential biasness in the findings. This method is particularly useful for exploratory research, pilot studies, and a situation with limited resources or time limited. Now, after discussing about the concept of convenience sampling, now next we are going to discuss about the characteristics of convenience sampling. So here we have mentioned a few key characteristics of convenience sampling. So as you can see that the first one is no random selection. There is a no random selection in the selection of process leading to potential biasness. That means participants in a convenience sampling are chosen primarily because they are readily available and accessible to the researcher. This could mean selecting pupils in the specific location, such as a shoppers in a mall, students in the classroom, or a users of a particular website. The primary advantages here is the simplicity of reaching out these individuals. For example, if a researcher wants to study consumer behavior, they might conduct a survey at a nearby shopping center where many potential participants are present and easily approachable. This characteristics ensures that the data collection process is straightforward and does not require extensive travel or complex situation. Now, the second one is quick and economical, cost effective. So it is often used because it saves our time and resources. Inconvenience sampling is a favor for its efficiently in terms of time and cost because it utilizes easily accessible subjects. The process of data collection can be completed rapidly without the need for extensive planning or resources. This is a particularly advantage in exploratory research or pilot studies where quick insights are needed to guide the further research. For example, a marketing team might use a convenience sampling to quickly gather the feedback on a new product by interviewing the customers at a local store. So, overall, saving both time and money compared to the large scale on the random survey. Now, the next one is ease of access. If we talk about the easy of access, so subjects are chosen based on how easy it is access them. After discussing about the ease of access, now the last one is flexible and simple. This method is a very flexible and a very simple method. The method is straightforward and does not require a complex planning or execution. So, the convenience sampling method is inherently flexible and simple to implement. Researcher can easily adapt their approach based on the available subject and the context of the study. This flexibility allows us for adjustment in the data collection process as needed without any kind of disturbance of strict sample protocols. For instance, a researcher studying a public opinion might choose to survey individuals at different times of the day in a public park, adjusting their approach based on the flow of pupil. These characteristics make convenience sampling an attractive opinion for initial student. Exploratory research and situations where the straightforward and rapid data collection is very essential. So these are the characteristics of convenience sampling. After discussing about the characteristics of convenience sampling, now let's discuss about the process of convenience sampling. So as you can see that the first step is identify the target population. Define the broader population from which you wish to sample. So the first step is to define the broader population that the researcher is interested in studying. This involves determining the characteristics and parameters of the population to ensure that the study's objectives are clear. For example, if a researcher wants to study on the habits of college students, the target population would be all the college students at a particular university or across the multiple universities. Now, the second one is select accessible subjects. That means choose the subjects who are ready, available, such as a pupil in a specific location, students in a class, or a users of a particular service. That means once the target population is defined, the researcher selects participants based on their availability and ease of access. This could include students in a specific class, shoppers at a mall, or patients at a clinic. The key is to choose the subjects who are easy to reach and willing to participate in the study. So, for example, the researcher might choose to survey students who are present in the university cafeteria during the lunchtime. Now, this next one is collect data. The next step involves the gathering the data from the selected subject samples. So this can be done through a various methods such as surveys, interviews, observation, or questionnaires. The choice of data collection methods depend on the research objectives and the type of information needed. For instance, if the researcher is interested in understanding students' food preferences, they might use a survey with the questions about the favorite foods, eating habits, and the meal frequency. Now, the next one is analyze the data. Now, the next step will be the analyze data. After data collection, the researcher analyzes the data to draw the conclusions and identify patterns or trends. This involves using the statistical tools and methods to interpret the data. It is a very essential to consider the limitations of convenience sampling during the analysis, such as a potential biasness and lack of generalization. For example, the researcher might use descriptive statistics to summarize the any kind of habits of the sampled students and acknowledge them. The findings may not be represent all the college student. So these are the process of convenience sampling. So let's understand once again. The first step will be the identify the target population. Under this step, we will define the broader population from which you wish to sample. And the second step will be the select accessible subject. That means choose the subject who are ready available, such as a pupil in a specific location, students in a class, or a users of a particular service. And the third step will be the collection of data. In this step, the researcher will collect the information from these subjects using the survey, interviews, and observation, etc. And the next one is analyze the data. If we talk about the analysis of data, this will be the last stage. So perform the data analysis to draw the conclusions, keeping in mind the limitation due to the sampling method. So this is the process of convenience sampling. Now, next we are going to discuss about when to use convenience sampling. So as you can see that the first one is pilot studies. So convenience sampling is the ideal for the pilot studies. And if we talk about the pilot studies, this convenience sampling is very essential for this study, where the main goal is to test the feasibility and design of a larger study. It helps to identify the potential issues and refine the research instruments. Now, the second one is exploratory research. This method is suitable for exploratory research in new areas with a limited prior information. It allows the researchers to gather the initial data and develop the hypothesis for the further investigation. Now, the third one is preliminary data collection. When there is a need to quickly gather initial data to inform the decision making or identify the trends, convenience sampling provides a fast and a practical solution. Now, the last one is resource constraints. When the time, budget, or logistical resources are limited, convenience sampling offers a viable option for the data collection without the need for extensive planning, resources, or recruitment efforts. For example, a researcher with limited funding might choose a convenience sampling to conduct a preliminary study before seeking additional resources for a more comprehensive study. After discussing about the use of convenience sampling, now next we are going to discuss about the advantages of purposive sampling. If we talk about the advantages of purposive sampling, there are so many advantages of purposive sampling. So as you can see that the first one is time efficiency. Convenience sampling allow for faster data collection as compared to other methods because participants are readily available. The time required to recruit and gather the data is significantly reduced. This is particularly useful in situations where quick insights are needed. Now, the second one is cost effective. This method is cost effective as it eliminates the need for extensive travel, advertising, or complex logistics involved in recruiting participants from a larger or a dispersed population. For instance, surveying a student in a single classroom is much cheaper than conducting a survey across the campuses. So this method is very essential, very important, and there are so many advantages of purposive sampling. Now, the next one is practicality. Convenience sampling is a practical for preliminary studies, pilot tests, and exploratory research, where the main goal is to gain the initial insight for test research tool. It provides a quick way to gather the data and identify potential issues before committing to a more rigorous study. Now, the last one is high response rate. So, because subjects are easily accessible, available, and often have a connection to the researcher or the research setting, the response rate tends to be high. Participants are more likely to agree to take part in the study when they are conveniently located and familiar with the researcher. So these are the advantages of purposive sampling. After discussing about the advantages of purposive sampling, let's discuss about the disadvantages of purposive sampling. So here, as you can see that I have mentioned a few disadvantages of purposive sampling. The first one is selection bias. So as you all know that the sample may not accurately represent the entire population, leading to a biased result. For example, if a study on exercise habits only includes the gym persons, it may not reflect the habits of the people who do not visit the gym. Now, the second one is limited generalization. So, finding from the convenience samples cannot be generalized to the broader population with confidence. The lack of random selection means that the results are specific to the particular group, to the particular sample group, and may not to apply all the population. Now, the third one is validity concern. If we talk about the validity concern, so there are potential issues with both internal and external validity. Internal validity may be compromised due to uncontrolled variables, while external validity is affected by the inability to generalize the findings. Now, the last one is potential for overlooked variables. Important subgroups within the population may be missed. For example, if a health study only improves the patient visiting a clinic, it might overlook those who avoid the medical care or use alternative health services. So these are the disadvantages of purposive sampling. After discussing about the advantages and disadvantages of purposive sampling, this method is very important, very essential. Researchers generally use the purposive sampling to conduct the study to finding the results of their study. So that's all about the purposive sampling. Thank you so much. Thank you.